There we are. Welcome back, everybody, to another session of the Dark Hedges. Last session, the boys and girls of the party came to the city of La Linde, and we're gonna take it from there. See how it goes. We're gonna start the recap off with Magnus.
Okay, well, our little group of ne'er-do-wells made it to La Linde with no particular issues, bar damp, wet, the usual. We are in a swamp. We're in a swamp after all. Master Iodi sampled the air, sensed something of draconic origin in the wind, and went to track it down. We were directed to, I think it was 3 inns, and we picked the best one, the Monte Leone, a large 4-story structure with a dark-skinned lady in a tight purple dress, Honorine Baudeleone. Edemir successfully managed to get us the rooms for free by mentioning we were dragon slayers. She was a little nervous about the dragon coming looking for us, though. Which, how does it know we're there? And I will hand over to Iodi to describe his tracking of the dragon traces.
Yeah, I was tracking a smell, and I basically found like a church that had illusionary magic on it, and sadly they locked me out, so I didn't get to learn much about it. I ended up passing the buck off to Zara, because she's actually sneaky, and I'm just pretend sneaky. And then I kind of wandered about the town a little bit more, sniffing around, and I found a nice little restaurant, we'll call it, with a dragon turtle on the menu. It was quite delectable, and I bought a couple of goodies. I bought some oil to protect your boots from the swamp, and a nice dragon turtle tooth necklace, which I promptly gave away to Estrella in an attempt to make an amends for hurting her feelings previously. And, yeah. Then we kind of went up and about, and we kind of learned that the dragon wants to eat me. Big old surprise there. And then the poison food arrived, and things were about to get spicy. And I'll pass it over to Medor.
Well, actually, Medor didn't do that much last time. More or less just normal being a Taurus, I guess. Didn't do too much other than just sitting in a corner looking out at everyone. Well, go to Marisol.
Thank you. So I finally got a warm bath and I fell asleep in it. And that's mostly what I did last time. The other people were scurrying around. I went with Preacher to negotiate our stuff we need to traverse the swamp and got board for our horses and stuff. That was kind of cool. And we are currently sitting with our feast of poisoned food. So I look forward to see where that goes. Quinn?
Yeah, so Iori gave Zara a heads up about that illusioned temple, and Zara went and paid it a visit using a couple layers of disguises. Went in, looked around, noticed that everyone in the head priest guy that was running things, his holy symbol of Geb was actually this neat dragon skull with some details on it, and it's typically worn by dragon cultists. However, when I was going to enter their basement and figure out, what they were hiding underneath the illusioned trapdoor, I failed to see the lightning trap, and then I set the entire town off for high alert. So Zara had to beat feet and make haste out of there, but not before the head priest gave her a look and said, we're going to kill you for the audacity of existing, something along those lines. And then we went back to town and started reconvening. The other big mover here today was, last weekend, was Preacher. Why don't you tell us what you found?
Yeah. So I'll pick up from where we actually arrived at the inn, because that's when we started to go separate ways and think of different things to do. My focus was acquiring a little bit more gear specifically to navigate the swamp, because none of us are actually superior swamp rangers of sorts. So I went to talk to the river wardens, and they had the lowdown on both the Kingdom of Gramont as well as the general situation in the town, and some good tips on how to fight dragons. They told me that the River Wardens is basically a force on their own, and the kingdom is split in various different factions. So we can look forward to nobles trying to claim pieces for themselves and no superior authority, including in this town. Apparently there's like a Judge Dredd champion going around and doing what the hell that person wants and thinks is justice. And that person is probably going to come after us, since we have disturbed the peace. Yeah. So, they also tipped me that there was a high likelihood of whoever speaks of dragons and killing dragons, or indeed is a convoy heading out from here, has a high likelihood of getting attacked within 1 or 2 days. And they're hinting strongly at the Temple of Geb as being a non-pleasant place to go. Keep away from there. Which kind of jives with what Zara discovered. I managed to get a couple of supplies for traversing the swamp. Poison resistance, anti-mosquitoes. I think it's actually a boat as well for some of us. And the various sundry. Paid like 400 gold or something. Including a mysterious... Was it tobacco you wanted as well, Marisol?
Yeah.
Ah, I see. So, yeah, we returned back home to the inn, where we had Estrella discover something interesting. Take it away.
Yeah, so when we arrived in town, Estrella wanted to go shopping with Marisol, but Marisol fell asleep in the bath. So Estrella then spent her time trying to dig up some information about the dragon round. And the tavern lady was, well, it seemed grateful that we were there to hunt the dragon. She seemed to be afraid of it, but when Yodi entered, she was very curtsy to him and like honored in his presence. So that already struck strange with Estrella. And when the others came back with their information about the dragon cult, we decided that it would not be safe to stay in our 2-person rooms separated from each other. So we decided to rig the rooms with a trap that would warn us when someone enters and also mark the intruder for our fox to find later. And we brought all of our stuff into Iodi's suite that he got. While Estrella was prepping the rooms, she saw a disguised dragon approach the tavern lady and handed her poison, distilled poison from the black dragon that she was supposed to put into our food to kill us. So when we met up in the suite, Estrella warned the others not to eat the food, and when it arrived, she started to try to extract the poison to see how strong it actually is and maybe find a counteragent to it. But just as she had extracted it, we heard voices in front of our door. Anyone else that still needs to go, or is it back to Shoggoth?
Has everybody gone this time? Have we forgotten somebody?
Adamir.
Yeah, not much to add, except for kill all the dragon cultists because they tried to poison kill us, and over to Shoggy.
There we go. Succinct recap of last session. So, you hear the people outside the door were like, well, should we go in and collect the bodies or not? Yeah, give me a moment.
Okay, everybody play along.
Will do. And Estrella is starting to pack up her alchemy set again.
I play dead. Where's my performance check?
I walk over to the door, open it, and say, "Hey, thank you for coming. We have just finished food. It was delicious."
Right, give me is it even called deception in this?
It's deception.
Thank you. You guys need to play more sneaky, folks. Note to self, Shoggoth, don't put things in front of where. There we are. Yeah, they go like, oh, fantastic. Would you like dessert?
I think we're good, aren't we?
It's just two townsfolk outside. Don't look like they work at the bar.
I know where the meal was quite fine, but this beer, it's got a funny taste to it. Maybe try it yourself next time before you give it to us. And he puts his tankard down.
Oh, it must be from an old what? Very sorry, sir. We'll go get you a fresh one right now.
No, it's fine. I think it's time to get some sleep, but thank you for the offer.
I'll lift my head up and be like, I'd love dessert with extra poison. Mice.
Yes, we'll get you mice right now. They start hurrying down the hallway.
We should probably get out of here.
We should. Grab your stuff.
The one time Iodi gets the finest bedroom and now they want to kill us all, huh?
I'll get you the finest bedroom in the next town we're at, where they don't try to
Yeah.
kill us.
Well, it's
Iodi,
not like
you
they're doing it
always-
voluntarily. They're kind of forced to it.
You always get the finest bedroom.
This one is even finer.
Shall we escape via windows?
What's the most best way out of here? I look
I
at
mean,
Estrella because I assume you have found them.
we're pretty high up.
Yep, you're on the third floor.
Well, I could put down a rope, but I mean, they tried to kill us with poison, so they want to be sneaky. I think we can just walk out of the door.
That actually sounds like a good idea. Come on, before they get back.
Straight down the hall. Aye, why not?
I'm
And
gonna
just
go
be
out.
casual about it.
I'm gonna go out the window. I'm
Yeah,
gonna flap my
uh,
little. I'm gonna flap my little dragon winglets, and I'm just gonna float down from the window.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out the window.
Okay, so two are going out the window.
Zara will also go out the window, scaling down the building.
Okay, so as you guys go over to the window and have a look outside, you see three large ogres with just like a sash, a black sash around their chest, which says "Town Guard," are hurrying up, and they've got they're herding three of these large insects, lobster, mind flayer thingies along. In addition, you see at least 7 guards down in on the streets to the back of the warehouse of the inn where you are planning to egress.
Right, so maybe not windows.
How far away are they?
Well, they're not far away from the inn, but they'd be about 60 feet under you.
Is the
How-
town built with the roofs close together?
Not particularly, no. It's not like a sprawling metropolis. You're in the most built up part, and you'd still need a good run up, and it'd be a risk trying to go roof to roof. It's definitely not built with for assassin the convenience of assassins.
How far apart are they from each other?
About 80 feet from each other.
Ah, darn it.
Well, how many can fly or scale the walls? If we can get to the other side and just get down to the river wardens.
I say we kill all. You really want these guys just roaming around ruling this town?
I'd rather
there's-
get rid of whatever controlling them and then clean out the town.
Nothing's controlling them. You choose to be a dragon cultist.
No, you
they
don't.
didn't. The
You
dragon.
don't know that.
They say the dragon protect them from the undead. The undead would spawn the city if they do not follow the dragon. But I believe the dragon has part in the undead danger as well.
So they're coerced then.
They chose it.
They didn't choose us there at first, but that
Still
is
could've-
beside the matter now. We need to get
They-
out.
They could have said no, right?
Debate
Well,
later.
While you're chatting, you can see they've started putting up barricades on both of the ends of the streets behind the inn.
Like, we need to get out and we need to get clear. At least we can fight in open quarters.
Araceli, you still got your broom?
I've got a broom.
Right.
And I can fly myself.
Good, then give that to Magnus Armador.
I can get down the wall. Don't worry about me.
All right, Preacher, you may need to give me a push if we try to jump somewhere.
Yeah, I can do that. Question, Shoggy.
Yes.
The building we're in,
Yes.
are we facing the courtyard with our window, or what's...
No, with the window you're facing towards the main streets. If you were to exit, you would be going into a small square between the larger buildings.
So if we go through a room on the other side of the corridor and through a window or wall on the other side, we would end up on outside perimeter?
Yes, you would.
Shall we burst through a room and wall instead?
Why not? It's been
Let's
ages
go.
Way.
since I've broken through a wall.
Yep. I pick another room and either open the door or go through it and then through the wall or through the window.
I turn into a bat.
Right, that's going to be a DC 5 athletics check for you, Preacher. Man, that could have gone wrong if you were, had a 1 instead of a plus 29. Yeah, Preacher just bursts through the door. And there's a young couple in there, in the act of getting to know one another in a biblical way, that both scream as Preacher just sprints through the room.
It's all right.
Don't mind us.
Flapping past.
Didn't see anything. Don't worry about it.
Enjoy your time.
Window or make a hole.
That's an option you have. That's a choice you have got to make in the next second as you're barreling
Window.
through the.
Yeah, I'll
room.
go through the window with glass and everything.
Right. So Preacher just exits through the window. Do you even take damage from a 60-foot drop?
No. I can land. I actually have featherfall boots even.
Yeah, and just lands beautifully on a stack of crates. And yeah, I assume the rest of you are exiting with him.
Yep. I can treat the fall as 50 feet shorter.
That's going to be a 10-foot fall.
I'm climbing down the wall.
Right.
I'm gonna go last in case anybody needs to be featherfalled. If I see anybody drastically, falling uncontrolled, etc.
Does any of you not have a way of getting down?
I have whoever can just jump. I'm gonna latch on the Preacher.
Yep.
Preacher, carry me. Hold me.
Magnus just waits for Preacher to clear the window and then swings his leg over the broom and goes, up!
Right. And remember, you gotta cackle to get the broom to work.
Like this?
There we go. That'll make the broom work. Okay, so Magnus is flying. Preacher's landed on the on some crates. Did not need to open Magnus's character sheet.
I land as myself after turning back from a bat.
Right, where are you gonna land? Before you answer, as you fly out, you can see that this street is not quite as full of people, but it's still crowded. And it's mostly people who they don't want to be your friend.
Is that an outcrop I see with that thing?
You're gonna have to be slightly more specific about what that thing is.
On
Yes,
top of
that's an
that, would that
outcrop.
be an outcrop around
Yes.
some feet over the ground?
That'd be about 90 feet over the ground.
9 feet.
90.
Then I'll be down at the floor, of course. But I thought it might be closer to the ground because it looked like it was just down there.
No, it's an awning over a window on the 4th floor.
Then I will just be landing behind that crate over here.
Okay, that's where you land. Gotcha. Ed would be over by Preacher. How did Zara get down? I'm expecting mirror shenanigans.
Zara is actually going to jump out the window, and then an explosion of energy is going to pop out of her back as her wings unfurl.
Okay,
She's
so
going to fly.
Zara's in the air.
And would it be athletics or acrobatics to climb down?
Well, you already went with Preacher, so you're on the ground.
For easily. The 8-legged lizard.
Whichever one feels he has the better stat in. It's an old timber building, so he could either jump from like window to window, or he could just muscle down. Yeah, he's down with no issue. So as you're noticing that there's a lot of bad guys here. This image not show up? It does not. Okay. The armored figure that Zara earlier saw, tall, heavily armored, with a long, thin, curved blade over her shoulder, comes walking up slowly. You're feisty, but you will need to surrender now so that our Lord and Master can have a little diplomatic chat with you all. Well, it is that, or you can die here. I don't really care. It's up to you.
You already tried to kill us.
Yes. But poisoning, you must understand, it's not really my style. So, I'm not really particularly disappointed it didn't work.
Where's she at?
By the window.
Yes.
Camilla.
You can see everybody's tensed up and ready to go.
Are we in initiative? Are you waiting for me?
We are in initiative, and Iodi is actually first.
Sorry, someone was knocking on the door. I was distracted.
Perfectly fine.
I'm going to move over to here in my cluster of friends. And I will pat Zara. Well, she's up in the air, huh?
Yep.
Cool. Alright, well then I will pat Preacher on the back, and I will haste him.
Nice. Anything else you want to be doing?
That is it for me, my friend.
Gotcha. In that case, it's actually Marisol's turn.
All right.
Oh,
I'm
God.
just gonna hoist my rifle and point it at Camilla and go, yeah, I think you should just walk away.
She seems unimpressed.
Then I'll shoot her.
Very well.
And I'll tell my Iris of the Sky that we should really kill this person.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. That's a hit. That's also a hit.
Yeah, so I hit them.
Correct. And that's that extra there. How much of this is fire damage?
All of it? Except if fire doesn't work, then it's either piercing or it's
Dang that
concussive.
Iris of the Sky. Well, you hit her. You can see
But the
the
4 one last are all just fire, the persistent fire damage. If she ignores that one.
yeah. You can see the shot hits her in the armor and sparks off. Doesn't penetrate it, but the force is obviously enough to injure her. But there's a sort of a weird sound. You're used to armor making like a metallic sound when you hit it. This doesn't sound like that.
Well, I reload.
Very well. Is that your turn?
That's my turn.
In that case, we get to Mador.
All right. I guess I'm way now. Am I on the ground or I'm still on the wall?
You are on the ground.
Okay. Can I see Camellia?
You would not have line of sight to her from where you are.
Okay.
She's behind the stack of crates to your south from you. Yep, fully concealed from you there.
I'm gonna move up till I can have get visual on her.
Gotcha. Yep. Now you see her.
And shoot my crossbow.
Gotcha. Yep. Yeah, the crossbow bolt hits high up, almost in the neck, and it just shatters as it hits the armor.
I am going to call forth a glaive and ready for attack.
Gotcha. Preacher. So, initiatives are fun. They were waiting for you, and you still almost all of you still have higher initiatives.
Yeah, I gotta say I love Camilla Bonvillain.
I can see your vision looks a bit weird. Can you see the two guys to your east?
I can see 7 enemies total.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. Okay, so your vision isn't weird. It's just Eodis, and that Eodis is entirely correct.
Yeah. Since I'm standing on top of the crates, I have elevated sight. Well, since I've been hasted, I suddenly have a little bit of extra movement, so I'm gonna run up to here, one single round, and wail on this person.
Very well.
I'm gonna be spending a key point to do it, just because, why not? She's a badass. Let me just bring up the right. There we go. So, flurry of blows with a grab at the end.
All right, give me your first attack before you do anything else. That's a hit. Roll your damage for that.
Will do. And key point as well. Force.
Right, and then she goes plink and changes position with the tool that was further back.
Don't forget +6 more since I hit her first.
Thank you.
Okay. Well then. Hi, big guy. Let's continue with you then. So, combo grab on this one.
Yeah, that's a success. He grabbed.
Comes to damage, as well as the Force. Not
Think.
that. My God. Misclicked royally.
This thing looks like it's used to be doing the grabbing. If a horrific lobster monster could look surprised, that'd be the look in the face of this thing right now.
Yep. I'm going to hit it once more, and then I'm going to try and throw it.
Oh, damn. Oh, my. Oh, damn. This thing's about the size of a warhorse. Let me have a check on the armor class. That's it.
Not a critical. Impressive. More force.
Yeah, that actually cracks its carapace.
And then I'm going to try and toss it with a whirling throw.
Toss me! All right. You definitely toss it. Which way do you want it to go?
I'm going to yeet it at... Since I can't actually see anything really... Oh, hang on. Can I yeet it over... Oh my god. I tried to move him.
Oh.
Sorry. Can I yeet it? Let's see now if I can... Come on. Give me a pointer. No. North along the street at the other monster.
Sure. How far can you...
It?
How far do you yeet it with your success?
I can yeet it. Let me see now. It's 50. At least 50 in my last count. I think I actually can yeet it longer, but 50 feet.
Jeez, yeah, that's enough to hit the other one. So give me a range. No, actually, that's just your yeet, and that's a critical. So give me just a 46 plus strength damage.
Yeah, he actually takes falling damage since it's actually
so that's actually going to be 10d6 plus strength damage.
Yep.
Because it's a crit.
10d6
plus double strength bonus.
That's 10 inclusive then.
So 39 damage. The one you throw just splatters as it hits the other one.
Does key force apply to the other guy?
No, I'm gonna say it doesn't. Because the one you throw isn't imbued with key.
Nope.
Your feeties and your handsies are. But it definitely injures the other one. You can see a crack in its carapace as well where you hit it.
And I'm done.
Right. In that case, it is Magnus.
Okay. Is Magnus on the ground or in the air?
Magnus is he's on his little riding stick.
Okay. In that case, Magnus is going to charge straight at that churro, whatever the insect thing is.
He charges the churro. Yes. That's going to be put you so you fill 4 squares. Right. So he's just flying down with the saber on the broom.
Okay. So grieving blade attack.
Well, I don't know if he's using the saber, but that's kind of up to him. That's a hit. $24.
And 1 for weapon damage.
Right. Yep. He slashes it. Its carapace is hard, but it's not hard enough to stop the grieving blade.
Okay. Magnus is gonna land and drop the broom to retrieve his shield.
Right. The grieving blade. Blade of grievances. Sword of the Karens. Yep, he's got his shield up. I guess that's his turn.
Yep, that would be 1 for the movement, 1 for the charge, 1 for the hit, and 1 to land. Yep.
Right. So this ogre on the south side here is gonna move up, and pull out a huge hook and swing it at Preacher. with a... Oh, that's actually it. Smacks Preacher with it for 21 piercing damage.
Ow.
And Camilla. What are you? You're 2 action. Okay. What's the range yo here? Son of a biscuit. 35. Well, she's gonna drink herself a potion. So that some of her wounds stop. And then she pulls out a wand and yeets 2 magic missiles at Preacher.
Mhm.
For a total of 5 force damage.
What's the spell level?
1. Oh, yes.
Okay. Calculating, please move on.
Right. This Chul here. Can't really reach Sora. Can reach there, so it's gonna skitter up and attack Magnus with a claw. Ooh, boy. That is actually a hit, even with the shield raised. That is 20 bludgeoning damage, and he's grabbed in the claw.
Aye!
The other one here is also gonna do the exact same thing. Magnus fends off the first claw with his shield, even though he's grabbed. Fends off the second claw with his shield. Fends off the third claw with his shield. Magnus is a beast. Beast. And it is Edemir's turn.
Okay. I will have Isoy move over there.
Skitcher.
And I will do slashing gust on the 2 crab people.
People. Yes. Do your slashing gust.
Top one by Isoy.
Oh dear.
And the bottom one.
And the bottom one's a hit. Top one, you can hear the gust of wind clank as it kind of bounces off of Magnus's shield. Ooh, but the second one there takes a slashing gust, and he is quite injured.
I will have Isoy bite the one he's near.
Go for it. Nope, that's a definite miss. He kind of suckles onto its chitin, but he doesn't really do anything than be slightly erotic.
All right, that'll be my turn.
Right, Zara, you're flying, aren't you?
Yes.
Give us a perception check, love. Nope. It's all good. All is good in the hood. So it's Zara's turn.
Zara is going to fly here.
Nyum. What height is she at the same height as the window you guys came out of? So 60 feet
Yeah, it's
or
60 feet.
Yep.
She's going to do an esoteric lore on our friend Camilla down there.
Right. So Camilla is definitely the spawn of a half elf. Half night elf, if you were to guess. The same as Mador. But the other half is a black dragon. Bigger, faster, stronger, smarter than your average bear. Got an an immunity to acid. Can probably breathe acid if she lifts her visor. And you can see from the spells flickering around her, you're going to assume that she's a magus. She is quickened in some way. It's not a haste spell, but from what you know, the Magi have sort of weird spells, so...
Zara's gonna yell out, "The champion's a half-dragon! Stay wary!" And then... I'm gonna end my turn.
Right. So that takes us to this ogre up here, who is gonna just move up. You look delicious, he screams as he swings his ogre hook at Isoi. That is 1 hit. 2 hits. So Isoi is slashed twice for a total of 33 piercing damage. And let's see. What is Isoi's athletics? It's going to be
Pretty high.
Versus an 18, so 28. He tries to trip him, but Isoi's got 4 legs, so...
8 legs.
8 legs. So even if he manages to get one of them off balance, Isoi's perfectly fine. If anything, he seems annoyed. And then we get to our first one of the session on initiative. It's Estrella's turn.
I was wondering what I rolled. All right. Estrella is moving down to the crates. And there she is trying to go stealthy and applies... what time in the day is it again? It was dinner for us, so it should probably be getting dark, right?
Yeah, it's about 8 in the evening, so it has... The sun is just about to go down over the horizon, and give it another 15-20 minutes, it'll be utterly dark unless you have torches or night vision or anything.
Okay, so she is going to apply a poison to her gloom blade.
Gotcha. Yep, the gloom blade will definitely have its bonuses in the gloom, as we call it.
That's what I was hoping for. All
right.
right.
This last ogre here, he is going to sprint up, jump up onto the fountain, slip and fall on his ass, and take a bit of damage from that. It would have looked very graceful for an ogre if he'd actually pulled it off. And that takes us back around to Iori.
Ooh-wee. I'm going to chain lightning Camilla and those 2 ogres.
Right.
Question?
Yes, sir.
The ogre that slipped and fell, is he in water by any chance now?
Yes, his legs are. His ass and upper body are on the ground.
Cool.
Hooey, I just gotta check something, Yo, bro. E-man.
Also, Yodi, if you go from the top of the one ogre, it's 30 feet to the crab person.
I can't see them. I don't know they're there.
Oh.
You look at the stream. I can't see them. So I'm just throwing it at Camilla, and it can work its way up if it can.
Yep.
Gotcha. I'm checking something out real quick, but where'd I put this thing? All right. I'll be with you in a moment, because I've been not quite organized with my notes. There we are. Let's see, what does this thing actually do? Okay, so that is going to be an opposed roll.
Sure, she can cast Chain Lightning.
Well, go ahead. I know what I'm doing. So you just roll your dice, buddy.
Just a 20 or what?
And add your casting modifier.
That would be 40.
You see a rune on her armor flare up and try to counteract your magic, but Yodi's just too dang powerful. With a little more effort, he just punches straight through the anti-magic rune.
Okay, that's a
So
reflex save from them.
That's going to be some reflex saves. DC 31 or 32?
30.
30. Right. So that's her and the two ogres. You just roll your damage, good sir.
Should also be the bugs up top too.
Yep. And you have to do it save in order, because if one of them crit saves, the chain lightning ends.
Yeah, that's why I started with her.
I'm on it. And then the two bugs as well.
And the ogre up there.
And the ogre up there. Let's see. Let's do the bugs first. This looks like it's going to be value for Yodi so far. That's a fail. That's a crit fail. That's failed. So the only one who actually made their save was her. That was 58, so that's going to be... and then we have two ogres. Lucky for them, they're mostly uninjured. The tool that was hit by Magnus and Preacher is just electrified, and there's a strong smell of rotten lobster. And one of the ogres goes, and then he's definitely very, very injured down by the fountain next to next to Preacher. That's not right. There we are.
Alright, and then with my last action, I'm going to quick cast a Disintegrate at Camilla.
Gotcha.
That's going to be a Fortitude save for her.
Still a 31?
30, yeah.
30. That is a failed save. $67. That's a fair amount of damage. She screams as the disintegrate hits her. Curiously, her armor doesn't seem to be disintegrating, but you can see blood and liquids oozing, or just falling as dust out of at least the left arm.
Fun fact, if something dies to disintegrate, its body disintegrates, but none of its gear does.
It's an interesting change from the last edition, where nobody used disintegrate because you never got loot. So I highly approve of this.
That'll be my turn.
Nobody wants to be disintegrating their loot.
And that's all for me, buddy.
Gotcha. That takes us to Marisol.
All right. I'm gonna just aim and shoot Camilla again. I see that she's wounded now.
Yep. Not having a grand old time. That's a miss.
Then I'm gonna reload while I move over here.
Plinks straight off of her armor.
And since Estrella is in the way, I can no longer see her, but I can see that ogre standing by Magnus.
That you can.
And I'll shoot that as well.
Who needs a magic sword when you have gun fu? Right. Roll your horses down the creek. I mean, yes, that's a critical.
Oh, critical. Then it's this much instead.
Yeah, that ogre is definitely very injured now. But not dead.
That's
Not
my
dead.
turn.
I ain't dead, as the ogre says. Let's see, how's this? What's this button do? Ah. There's a whoomp sound behind Medora and Yodi as something lands and materializes or stops being invisible as it's been sneaking up on you. Medora's actually readied, so he gets his attack of opportunity. That's a hit, but not a crit. And, of course, from everybody within 90 feet of this thing, so that'd be all y'all. I'm gonna need a DC 28 will save, unless you're immune to fire. Oh boy.
A DC what?
28. 2 8s. Oh boy.
Aren't Magnus immune?
He's not immune, it's just resistant. They've changed it with the paladins.
I'll go ahead and hero point that one.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Oh.
Nice.
It's a fail, but not a crit fail.
I guess I'll hero point it.
Well,
you know what? I got 2 hero points.
Yep, that's a save. So Iodi is now frightened 2. Marisol, see, oh, it's not a crit fail, but it's a fail. So Marisol is also now frightened 2. This is a. You can see the glistening black scales of this dragon as it comes out of invisibility, and Mador, being ready for anything, smacks it. Mador's a fighter, and he saved, so Mador's not frightened at all. Preacher crit saved, so Preacher not frightened at all.
Mine counts as a crit save.
Magnus failed, so he is only frightened 1 because it goes down 1 for him. No, he's not fleeing, Shoggoth. Those are different things. Yours also counts as crit success. Okay, in that case, Edamir is not frightened. Zara is frightened 1.
Mine counts as a crit success as well.
In that case, she is not frightened. Estrella, she's frightened 1, unless she's also got some sort of immunity to frighten 1.
Not that I know of.
Very well. And, well, that's it. And yes, this thing seems pretty pissed that Mador ate it, so it's gonna, or smacked it. So it's gonna whoomp, 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 try to smack him twice with the claws and once with the horns. Utterly misses with the first claw. Mador dodges the second claw easily. And is headbutted with the horns. Oh, that's the wrong dice, Shoggoth. It misses with both claws, but it manages to headbutt him still. for 17 piercing damage. And as it's now facing Medor, it's going to try to smack Edamir with its tail.
No.
That's a critical.
I will, since that's critical, use my reaction to wooden double.
Okay, what the heck does that do?
Wooden double appears out of nowhere and takes the blow in my place. I take step action, and wooden block of my size, roughly shape, appears. Absorbs the hit. Hardness of 5, hit points of 20. So anything over 25, I take. My jutsu.
Okay, so you take 24 damage still, but the wooden double takes the brunt of the smack as the dragon slaps its tail down, completely crushing the boxes, which should do something for line of sight here as well. Yep. So those boxes there are them boxes ain't there no more. There we are. As the dragon has absolutely smashed them while trying to kill Edamir. Speaking of smashing, it's Medor's turn.
My turn to see if I can react to him and see if I can hit him back.
Not on that roll, you can't. You smack him, but that doesn't go through his scales. Again, doesn't go through the scales. And that's some real Night Thorns rolling you got going there right now. Nothing over 10 on 3 attacks. So, yeah.
Got a 12 on the last one.
Well, the one with the -10, yeah. You kind of like scratch his chest with the glaive, but it doesn't really do much. It is now Monzois Perrier.
Since he's got reach and I ain't got it, so I guess I gotta step in closer.
You step in closer.
And start waiting on her.
I'm assuming you use the step action.
Yep.
And then wail on him.
The step action does cost me 1 action, so I'm spending my haste on that one.
Gotcha.
And then we flurry of blows, per usual. First one, regular attack. Second is grab.
And that's it.
Here's some damage.
He's reeling from that one.
And a grab, hopefully.
That is definitely a grab.
Some damage. And then we... again. Wow. And last attack is actually going to be a straight-up trip. Athletics versus his reflex.
There's really no need for the trip, as you've more or less torn him to pieces.
Okay.
He is exceedingly dead. Once we get to where you want to trip him.
Then I have 1 action left.
That you do.
The guy closest to me, is he alive or conscious at all?
He is, but he's not in good shape. He's very, very injured.
Then I presume that Sarah is going to deal with Camilla, and I'm going to finish this guy off so we can focus on the dragon. So I'll move there for next turn.
Gotcha. What? Speaking of, it is Magnus's turn.
Okay. 2 questions. Number 1, is Magnus still grabbed, or is he...
He is grabbed indeed.
Okay. Question 2. Was that Frightened 2 reduced to 1, or just Frightened 1?
What's reduced to 1, yes.
Fair enough. Okay. In that case, Magnus Hang on. He's grabbed. Can he step up to the tool, or does he need to,
Nope.
to shake free first?
He's gonna have to try to get free first.
Okay, athletics roll then.
Indeed, Leo.
29.
He manages to flex his way out of the Chul's. Wow, that's a big area around him. Chul's claw.
Okay, he steps up to the cool Chul.
Two Chul for school. Yes.
And it's time for the Grieving Blade again. 32.
Might of the Karens. That's a hit.
19 on the blighter.
It is now spilling fluids out of its carapace, but it's not dead.
Okay, one turn left.
Nope.
Hold on. Yep, one to get free, one to step, and one to hit. Yep, fair enough.
That's correct. Correctamundo, sir. Correctamundo. So, Camilla, again, drops herself another potion. Wow, that's a super good roll. And
Just for your tracking, I am 65 feet away.
65. Handy dandy piece of information I have right there.
I got a hypotenuse calculator up.
Got a what now?
A hypotenuse calculator.
Yes, I'm sure
plus
that's
B
the thing.
squared equals C squared.
She is going to change position with the Chul. And then put her in there. She was a bit. Nope, that's fine. And then she is going to hit Estrella and Marisol with a prismatic spray.
God dang it, even if she doesn't see me, she sees Marisol. Alright.
Skibada bum bum bum. Let's see. And that is a DC 29. No, is it? Oh, no. Oh, yes. Yes, it is. DC 29. Actually, there's no save on this thing.
Since I was hiding, is she actually directly aiming for me? So did she
Yeah,
see me?
she doesn't need to. It's a cone.
Okay.
So roll a d8 for me. Both.
A D8.
Both of
Okay.
you. So 2 from Marisol, that's a DC 27 reflex. 7 for Estrella, that's a DC 27 will.
Oh, god dang it. I wanted to have the reflex.
So Marisol takes 30 acid damage. She's hit by the orange ray. Estrella is hit by the violet ray. But she does manage to save, so she's only slowed 1 for this turn instead of for 1 minute.
Okay, what does that mean?
1 less action.
1 less action, okay.
And the slightly confused insect goes chul chul and skitters up behind Magnus to attack him. However, even though Magnus, I said the other Magnus, Preacher. Preacher is hit for 20 bludgeoning, and he is grabbed.
Flipping. He takes 3 damage from my inner fire.
Ooh. He's pretty injured, but not quite injured enough to be dead. And it pulls Magnus up to its tentacles, meaning I need a DC 25 fortitude from Magnus.
Oh,
lovely. And Magnus is paralyzed.
Preacher or Magnus?
Yes, Preacher, the other, the chicken of the sea. Preacher is now paralyzed. as well. Oh boy. Well, that's lovely. It's good to be preacher. Speaking of good to be preacher, it's now Edamir's turn.
Well, I'm going to try to do something, but more than likely it won't do anything. I'm going to try to turn the dragon into wood with Lignify. DC 30 Fortitude.
A moment. I'll lift the dog into a basket here and Lignify.
Lignify.
I ain't never heard of that.
You turn the target's flesh slowly into wood.
Oh, interesting. That is, what did you say the difficulty was?
DC 30 Fortitude.
That's a critical success.
Well then, he is unaffected.
He cares not for your paltry mortal spells.
Isoi will move up.
Right. Is that a regular move or is he stepping in?
He's stepping in.
Gotcha.
And he will attack.
$27. I do declare that's a hit. Yep. He bites him.
And my last one, I'll take a 5-foot step back also.
Gotcha.
And that'll be my turn.
Which brings us to Mistress Alpendew.
Zara is going to land down next to the Camilla.
Right. Nyom.
And then, as soon as the screen loads, we're going to apply hammer.
That's a miss.
And that's my 3 actions.
Very well. As the Olga, the one up by Isoi, he's gonna be just wailing on Isoi with his claw thing, because there's a huge 8-legged lizard trying to drink his blood, so sort of necessitates his priorities. He only hits once for 15 piercing damage, and he tries desperately to trip Isoi, but it is very difficult to trip something that's got 8 legs, so he doesn't really get anywhere with it. It is now Estrella's turn.
Yeah. Using the distraction provided by my allies, I will try to sneak up to the dragon using my sneak 7 and foil senses.
Yep.
And if that succeeds, I can attack at the end of that sneak.
The dragon gets an attack of opportunity, so it's going to try to bite Estrella.
So I did not succeed, is what you say.
That is a critical. So it bites Estrella for a total of 72 damage.
Did I crit fail the sneak?
I'm not going to go into how that dragon knows where you are, but it knows where you are.
Okay. What did you say was the damage?
72 damage. Do you have any acid resistance?
No, I have poison resistance.
Right. Well, that's handy, because I'm going to need a... what is the save on this? DC 28 Fortitude save from Estrella as well.
Okay. Poison resistance 2.
Right. So, she is now... where is this thing? Nope. Where did I put that? Well, we're just going to make it easy. That's an additional 6 poison damage to her. She can, of course, pull the resistance away.
Okay. But since he apparently however he did it, saw me. I failed, so I am not allowed to attack.
Oh, well then. Is that your turn?
That is a 2-action move. So yeah, since I was slowed.
Gotcha. So that takes us to the last exceedingly injured ogre. Kind of stumbles to his feet. There we are. And swings the ogre hook at Preacher. Hits him for 15 piercing damage.
Gotcha.
And it's now Iodi.
Okay. I am going to move over to here.
Very well. Iodi
Then-
moves.
What's that?
That's it. Iodi moves freely as the dragon's busy munching on Estrella.
Quite. And then I will do the chromatic ray at the black dragon.
Ooh. So that's a D8 from the dragon, isn't it?
I think I have to attack him. Yeah.
Ah, right. Well then.
Okay. Or maybe that die won't actually roll.
Oh boy.
I love that I rolled the die and it shows up higher, and then I roll the 1 because it doesn't count it. I love this program so much.
Yes, it's fantastic. So roll a D4 on a 1 that already hits Estrella. Nope. Passes through and does weird things to the wall of the inn.
That's my turn.
Lovely. You guys are on fire. Let's see if it's quite literally, because it's Marisol's turn. And so it's been a while since she set herself on fire last.
This is true. So yeah, I'm very scared of this dragon. So I'm gonna move around here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will reload while I move and try to shoot the half dragon.
Very well. And that's a miss. Pings off her armor.
Yeah, I'm gonna be standing there muttering to myself and hope that the dragon doesn't see me.
Oogly doogly. Speaking of dragon, it is the dragon's turn. This thing is gonna go straight for Estrella with 2 claws and 1 horn.
Nimble dodge.
That is 1 hit. Misses with the second claw. And then smacks her with the horns. No criticals, though. So that's 31 slashing from the claw. 20 piercing from the horns. 51 damage total.
Barely standing.
Nobody's in range of a proper tail lash currently. And it doesn't have its ass to my door. So, no tail lash. What's the, okay. On its last turn, it just roars incredibly loudly into the sky. You can hear like echoes from the buildings, and very, very faintly, very, very far away, an answering roar. Speaking of answering roars, it is Mador's turn.
All out on the dragon.
That's it. I believe, and I was right. It was a hit. He slashes that dragon. Second one's a miss. Man, your dice. Your dice today. Oh, and on the third one, gives a DC 21 acrobatics, Estrella, to not be tripped by Medor's glaive. You're just in the middle of the line of
Acrobatics.
fire for everybody, rolling a 1 today, aren't you? Estrella is not tripped.
Well, I'm used to it, so that's why I know how to dodge.
Yep. Preacher.
All right. Can I shake this paralyzation?
You crit failed on your last, so you are just straight up paralyzed this turn.
Then I have a question.
Yes, sir.
A item that I can activate through Envision. Does that actually work?
Through what?
Envision. The activation is actually vision.
Well, it doesn't need you to move anything, so I'm going to say yes. If it only needs your imagination, that's not paralyzed.
Then this guy is going to get a sun ray to his face. So that's a spell attack roll.
Monks are weird.
No,
Sure.
This is an item. Sunsight Tattoo.
Oh, well, go ahead.
I'm going to need a little bit of help from the Queen of Weirdy. Spell attack roll is a d20 plus what?
I don't think you get a bonus because you're not a caster. I'm pretty sure it's just a roll.
I think that's a hit.
What was the name of the item?
Sunsight Tattoo.
Let's check that.
Make a spell attack roll against a single creature per ray. I can cast 3 rays. It's a 4th level Scorching Ray.
Can't see it here. I'm gonna have to actually check the rules on that because that sounds interesting. And I don't want those items to be useless for people who aren't straight up casters.
The easiest one to be would be to use the monk proficiency and charisma.
Right. Preacher's about as charismatic as your average brick, but he's got a lot of monk proficiency, so that is going to be a hit.
Okay. In that case, he's going to get straight up 3 rays. I don't have to hit the individual since I succeeded on the first one. So if I'm reading this right, 2d6 fire 3 times over.
So for Scorching Ray, you cannot target the same creature 3 times. You get 3 rays. You can use up to 3 actions, which gives you 3 rays, 1 for each action, each one at a different target.
Okay.
The only one he can see, though, is the creature. He can't turn his head to throw a ray at anybody else. So give us a 2d6 on the jewel there.
So 2d6 twice?
And once. You can only cast 1 ray at it. And you didn't crit with your attack. But still.
I thought I could do 2 rays on one person.
One on 1 to 3 people. They've changed it up. Used to be more powerful in first edition. But it's enough. Preacher's tattoos glow up even though he's completely paralyzed. And he sets the laser printer to kill and just blows that jewel's head straight off. He's dropped to the ground, still paralyzed, but no longer being nibbled on by the horrific tentacle beast. That's not just a reskinned lictor. Speaking of reskinned lictors, it is Magnus's turn.
Who's a lictor? Magnus steps forward to Camilla and attempts to apply some Hactitude.
Gotcha. Well then, that is a definite miss.
We will try it again.
And that is also a definite miss.
Okay. Step attack. That's it.
And this is one of those. This is one of those situations where Shoggoth needs to read something. Right. So you can see her. Can see Camilla chanting and pulling her hand over her blade, and there's definitely something interesting going on, and she is going to swing at Zara with it. Dum da dum dum da, and that's a hit. But is the damage just straight up added on, or does Zara still get a save against that spell? To deliver. Okay.
So if the spell doesn't have a spell attack roll, it's not spell strikeable.
Perfectly fine. I was wondering if you still got a save, and you do. So let me check this out. Dum 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 dum. Do doom boom 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 boom. That is going to be a DC 27 Fortitude.
Couldn't Zara got attack of opportunity since she was casting a spell?
Not against a Magus, no. That is a crit success. I don't think she actually takes any damage from the spell, but she is still hit by the sword. For 31 damage, do you have any acid resistance?
I do not.
Very well.
Take a liberating step, Zara.
How much does that reduce the damage by?
I'm going to say 11, since he is level 11. And you can move up to 10 feet, is it? I don't think Zara
15.
I don't think Zara actually wants to move, but what do I know? I'm not her supervisor. And then she is going to take another attack at Zara. Actually, no, she's not. My bad. I should not have pulled my punch there, because that would have been a critical. But I did. Instead,
it's 2+ levels, so it's 2 more.
It's 2 more what?
Resistance.
Okay, right. So that's 13 less damage. Now, actually, does this count as... I should have read this better. I read up on this better. That spell has been cast yet. Yes. Okay, so a spell has been cast. So she is actually just going to straight up strike at Zara, because I said she wasn't gonna, I'm going to re-roll that attack. That would have been a crit. Because I'm just a straight up nice guy like that. Still going to swing her sword at Zara twice. For 1 hit.
Spell strikes are 2 actions.
I'm aware. And 1 miss. But she smacks Zara again for another 30 damage. And on that note, we go straight to Edamir.
Okay, a couple things. Can I tell what phase the moon is in?
Give me a DC 5 nature check. You're a druid. This is something you should remember. But, I mean, you could have forgotten. We'll find out in a moment. Yeah, so it's 1 week past having been a full moon.
Darn. Okay, second thing. Vidkun. I'm gonna yell to Vidkun. Did you get those 5 mice friends that are loyal that I asked you about?
You can hear him from like 20 feet up under the rafters of the stairs. He's going like, yeah, God damn it! Why are you asking me now? There's a dragon here. But yeah, I got him.
Awesome. How far away would they be?
They're 20 feet away.
Then I am going to cast Moon Frenzy on the 5 mice.
Okay, that's a thing. What's that do?
Pharaoh aspect overcomes the targets, making them tough and savage. Targets gain 5 temporary hit points, 10-foot status bonus to their speed, weakness 5 to silver. They grow vicious fangs and claws. Unarmed attacks, fangs deal 2d8, claws deal 2d6. Agile and finesse.
Okay.
And if it was a full moon, then they grow by 1 size.
Oh, they're
weremice.
still very, very small but fierce weremice. Yes.
And I will tell them to kill the dragon.
And that's how the Skaven were introduced to this setting. Okay. Do they get any bonuses whatsoever on their attacks?
It says the targets use their highest weapon or unarmed attack proficiency. But I don't know what mice have normally.
Well, I'm going to roll 10d20, and for every natural 20, that's a hit. No hits this turn.
All right. And I will have Isoi attack the giant in front of him twice.
The dragon, however, seems very confused.
Or not dragon, the ogre.
That it's being attacked by a pack of weremice suddenly. Not to mention, not just a little bit insulted. Isoi actually manages to get himself a critical. And that ogre is history, having been drained entirely of blood by Isoi.
And he will just move there.
Skitter. Gotcha.
And that'll be my turn.
It is now Zara's turn.
Okay. Zara is going to use one action to intensify her mirror, giving herself concealment against Camilla, which is Blur. And then
Gotcha.
she's going to swing her hammer.
Very well. That's a miss. Actually, with flanking, that was it, and the second one's a crit. I'd forgotten that Preacher was there. So that's a fair amount of damage for sure. And that's even more damage.
And
so
she's prone.
14, yeah. Yeah, second, the first strike takes her to her knees, and the second one's a clean hit. Straight to the helmet. Does absolutely no damage to the helmet whatsoever, but whatever's inside just gets squished. And she is dead. Speaking of dead, it's Estrella's turn.
Not dead yet. Don't call me dead yet. Do the mice give me flanking bonus?
I'm gonna say no.
Oh, too bad. All right.
They would if the dragon actually paid any sort of attention to them.
Okay, I'm going to attack with my Gloom Blade.
That, I believe, is a hit.
All right. I'm going to roll the normal damage since the 1d6 undetected is the same as if in dimmer or dark.
Okay.
So we don't have to calculate anything.
Very well.
And after that, I am going to take a one-step action back.
Very well.
And then I am going to hurry over to our fox. But can only pet him next time.
Yeah, that gets you an attack of opportunity as you try to hurry over to the fox.
Even if I do it towards Magnus first and then up to the fox, I should have enough movement.
Yeah, but you're still not outside of his reach.
I'm still in reach, damn it. Okay.
So, the dragon bites.
Can I try an acrobatic to avoid that?
You can certainly try.
Okay, because if not, I'm probably down.
That is not a success. So Estrella tries to get over to Magnus, and the dragon bites her, and that's 40 damage.
Yeah, I'm done.
And Estrella goes down. And it is now the guy fighting Magnus, who's just kind of shaky on his feet. He swings his ogre hook, misses. Misses badly enough that he breaks it against the fountain. And then he moves up to Preacher. My apologies to any blind people following this series. I'm just fumbling names today. Moves up to Preacher and doesn't have any more actions. It is Eodi's turn.
I will Dimension Door to here.
Yep.
And I will apply Potion to Estrella.
Very nice.
Let me see. What was the Elixir of Life? 2d6 plus 6? Isn't that what it is?
I believe so.
So 14 damage to Estrella.
Did you mean healing or damage?
Healing, yeah. I'm not going to kill her with the Elixir of Life.
I have done that in Baldur's Gate 3, where I threw a healing potion at somebody who was dying and just absolutely murdered them. So, needed to check.
Sorry, Shoggy, it's 3d6 for the lesser elixir.
3d6, there we go. He only makes them, he doesn't drink them. You can't expect him to know everything.
I don't think I've drank a single one. I don't think I've drank a single one this entire campaign.
I don't need to know the rules. We have Quinpedia for that.
So that's 18 health to her then.
Yep. Fantastic. And that takes her to Wounded 1. El Scamenu. There we are. Put it on the right person. And is Eodi going to do anything else? He does have one more action, I believe.
No, it was 2 for the Dimension Door, 1 for Apply Potion.
Okay, gotcha. In that case, it is Marisol.
All right. So the scary lady is gone. The dragon is still there. I am gonna reload and throw myself into cover behind here.
Gotcha. You are muted.
Then I'm gonna shoot at the dragon.
Go for it, madam. You don't care any bit about concealments. I'm not even going to try measuring it. And that's a hit, but not a crit. You hit the dragon in the head, and the bullet kind of pings off the scales, but it's definitely hurt by it.
And then I'll reload.
Right. The dragon, it's been waiting for this for a while. It is going to blow a line of poisonous acid at Estrella and Eodi. You're going to need a DC 30 reflex save from you guys. Oh dear. So, no, wait, that's wrong, Shoggoth. Do it right. No, that's also wrong, Shoggoth. How did I? Okay, let's just do this the difficult way then. That's going to be 18 acid damage. And 22 poison damage for a total of 40 damage or 20 to Estrella because she takes half.
I have evasion. I'm a rogue.
So Estrella actually manages to completely dodge it. And Iodi just eats 40 damage to the face. Do you have any acid or poison resistance? It can be applied here.
I only have fire.
Right. Gotcha. And having done that, it looks around and decides that, you know what? We started this job, we're gonna friggin' finish it. And it tries to bite Estrella.
Nimble dodge.
It bites Estrella for 29 damage.
Down again.
If you have any poison resistance, that can be used to detract from that damage.
That would distract 2, but since I only got 18 back.
Well, Estrella is now down again. And the dragon kind of chuckles to itself as she goes down again. Looks like a cat playing with a mouse. Seems to be enjoying just torturing her, and every time she gets up. It is Mador's turn. I'm assuming you're attacking, and that is a hit.
I just rolled my attack. What am I going to do? Run away?
Smacks the dragon again. Man, even your damage rolls are terrible today. Second one's also a hit. I mean, that dragon is definitely starting to feel it now. Mador's been smacking it with his magical glaive for a while. And blood is now streaming, and that's a crit. Oh boy. Blood's now streaming from its body. It's definitely starting to feel those blows. Mador's been working on getting through some scales, and now that he's putting some real injuries on this dragon real fast. It roars in pain. Speaking of roaring, it is a Preacher's turn. Give us a DC 27 Fortitude.
42, coming up.
Right. You're still hasted, so you now have 3 actions. Instead of the 4 you would have had. Coming out of beings frozen.
Okay. I kip up for free.
Yep.
So I'm gonna see if I can flurry of blow this guy that is standing next to me. First one's a regular attack, second one's a grab if I have to.
It's a hit. Roll your damage, sir. Preacher just flurry of blows him away in a fountain of blood. And that ogre is dead.
Okay, since I know that have heard the roaring and munching sounds, I am going to want to go over the fountain and to the other side, so I'm going to start movement. And let's see, I'm going to end it in this square. So I'm going over the fountain.
I'm going to say that's a DC 10 athletics or acrobatics to clear that fountain. Yeah, Peter just flows over it as if it isn't even there, just running on the water, not even being slowed down.
Okay. Is that thing covering all the squares around it? Where is...
That's a good question. There's really only one way to find out.
Okay, I'm going to try and get into that square so we get a nice surround on it.
Right, in that case, it is going to try to bite you. Having been used to bullying Estrella, this dragon's gotten lazy and just gets a mouthful of broken crates as Preacher flows past it. It is Magnus's turn.
Okay. Magnus will spend the turn to move straight lines then here.
Yep, that's one action.
Action 2 is Lay on Hands, which restores 36 to Estrella.
Yep. So that takes her to wounded 2 now.
And Action 3 is going to be to raise his shield.
Very well. Speaking of shields, it's Edamir's turn.
I will use an action to command the swarm to attack.
Oakley dokley. 10d20. Any natural 20 is not just a hit, but a crit. Holy cow. That is actually 2 crits. That's going to be 8d6 damage from you. From the rat swarm, just munching on this dragon's tail, having gotten onto it now. And it roars in pain as some of the weremice that have gotten under its scales start chewing on its flesh.
And the creature struck also take 1d4 persistent bleed. Do I do that for every hit?
That would be 2d4 persistent bleed, yeah. Damn. Okay. Interesting. So that's going to be 5 persistent bleed for it as well.
And I will also cast Impaling Strike on it.
Okay.
So a giant spike thrust from the earth of cold iron. He needs a reflex.
And the DC of that reflex would be
30.
So that's a success, but not a crit success.
He takes half damage and any weakness to cold iron.
All right. And what's the damage?
$15.
5 weremice. 5 weremice. Chomping on a tail. Yeah, he's actually pretty injured by that. Seems not super happy about life right now.
Isoy will double move in front of Estrella.
Okay. It is Zara's turn.
Zara is going to move here. And then I am going to drag Estrella.
Like there?
Yes.
Okay.
That'd be 1 or 2 actions.
If you may make a DC 20 acrobatics, or athletics, that's gonna be athletics. That's gonna be a 1 action. If you fail it, it's gonna be a 2.
DC 20.
Well, then it's 1 action. You've learned to grab her by the dragging handle on her vest, and you just pull her back.
While I'm dragging her, I'm going to pull a scroll off of my belt, and I'm going to cast a 2-action heal, burning the scroll to dust.
Gotcha. $15 more on you or her. I think it's 2d8 actually, but I'm not certain.
Click the button too early. It hid the spell from me.
Oh no.
1d8 plus 8. So.
Okay, so 15 more back to. I'm assuming you're casting it on Estrella. Yeah.
And that'll be my 3 actions.
Gotcha. It is now Estrella's turn. As she regains consciousness, being way further away from the dragon than she can remember being when it bit her. Staring up into Zara's beautiful blue eyes. I'm assuming they're blue. It's a very small portrait.
Kind of a steel gray. The other one's a ball of fire.
Ah, yes. Staring up into the ball of fire eye and the blue eye of Zara. It is Estrella's turn, and she feels like shit. You're muted if you're talking. I can see your mouth moving, but I can't hear you.
I forgot I muted myself. Estrella is taking out something from her backpack, handing it to Iodi. He was invisible before, throw that and he won't be able to again. And handing you Dust of Appearance.
Okay.
And I'm not getting close again. No way.
Right. So you're just gonna stay on the ground in front of Zara?
I am. The dragon should be the last enemy, right? So she is going to go into cover behind the crates.
Gotcha. And it is Iodi.
Okay. I am going to use my arcane who's-a-what's-it to get my spell slot back. And then I'm going to disintegrate the dragon.
Hoo boy. And is that a save or is it a 2 hits?
It's a fortitude save from him, DC 30.
Gotcha. So that's a success. But still plenty of damage, isn't it?
Yeah, 12d10.
So the dragon roars in pain and frustration as the disintegration ray hits it, and it turns into dust. But you can see Iori is almost pulled off his feet as the draconic tome he is carrying is pulled towards the dragon, and then he stops, and the spirit of the dragon is sucked into that tome. And suddenly, Iodi's horns and claws and fangs seem just that little bit more ferocious.
No, my claw trophy.
That is new. You can still get the trophy, Edamir. Look here. And he puts his hand like in the puddle of dust.
Sad days.
Aye. Are you alright, Master Yodi? Do you need any medical attention, or can you carry on?
You hear a woman screaming, "They killed one of the masters! They're here!" And she's standing at the eastern crossroad ringing a bell. You can hear the sound of feet. You've got maybe a minute.
Let's
I'll yell
go.
back. I'll yell back, and we'll kill the other ones too. Just bring them.
Let's talk more running.
So, anything you guys want to do before you leave? You've got 1 minute.
Well, since we can't get a claw, no.
I want to see the Camilla. Yeah.
Try to speak one at a time, please. So, Preacher said Camilla first.
Yep. Head over there, gather up her items, especially any notes or documents. Just pull them into her cape or whatever and carry them all.
With the time available to you now, you could either grab her sword and run, or you can grab her and her sword and sort through her stuff later. But you're not going to have the time to take the armor off and undress her.
Grab her. I thought she actually went poof, but yeah, grab her entire weightlifter.
Yep. Yeah, and Preacher just goes, oof, and kind of does a couple of reps with her for throwing her over his shoulder just to show that he can.
Lead on to the river wardens, please.
Off to the river wardens. Fantastic. And we've been going for a bit over 2 hours, so we're going to take 10 minutes now. We'll be back at 9:15 p.m. sharp-ish. Plus minus 5 minutes, depending on any emergencies that happen.
All right.
There we are. And we are back almost exactly on time, which is a small miracle for a group this size. So, you guys, do you have any game plan for getting down to the river wardens, or are you just gonna hoof it fast as you can?
Slight detour so we don't just go straight for them, because that would probably be too visible. So we try and elude whatever is following us, just a couple of quick turns, and then aim for them.
Right. Give me a lore smuggler, Zara.
Oh, that was
Yep.
almost a 19.
You do manage to sneak around it. Dum 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 dum. You give them the slip. As you get to the towards just the street away from the river wardens, you see several villagers and a lot of the ogres and lizard men actually having been filled with arrows. As currently both the river wardens and at least a fair bit of the town guard, dressed in the reinforced lizard skin armors, are holding the wharf. As you come running down, you hear the dwarf go, "Not them! Play friendly! Don't shoot!" And just one or two arrows sunk into the walls around you as nervous people manage to get their aim off just the right second before arrows sunk in.
Well, we jog down with the dead champion on my shoulder.
Yeah, as you come in and the Hugo, the guy you've been dealing with, sees the dead champion. He goes wide-eyed and like, "Huh, you actually killed Camille. That is going to make retaking the city for the Marquesa much easier." But
Not only Camille, we killed one of the dragons too.
Yeah, he's in dust behind the inn, but we really need to go now.
3 ogres and 3 of those crab things are down too.
Another dragon probably coming in.
well, in that case, no time to lose. The mayor's boat is casting off. You see most of the city guards that have been holding are boarding a pretty large pram, driven by some sort of wheeled contraption on each side of it.
That's nice.
Starts heading upriver.
Where the hell is that? And what are the odds? It's leaving, never mind.
Come on, let's get our stuff and get moving.
Yeah, each riverboat has one of those, or each mayor has one of those riverboats given by the Marquesa. Cost probably more than this town. Made by gnomes, so I'm told. There used to be 4 in the march, but one exploded.
I always wanted to try my life as a pirate, so we're going to commandeer this boat, right?
We have
No.
borrowed another one. Paid well for it.
Ah, yes. Borrowed.
Yes, your pram's ready. We took the liberty of loading your horses and donkeys onto it as well. Assume you don't want them stabled here.
Well, now it seems like a stupid plan to keep them here, yes.
Very well. Down.
I'm gonna board.
Many thanks, masters.
Right. And you start heading up. You looks at you and says, if you return to this town once it is recaptured, I will make certain you are greatly rewarded for your help in stalling the enemy's main force and killing the champion. If not, if this town ends up in ruin and I die before I get away, under the fountain right outside of the inn you are staying, there is a stash of a lot of gold.
Thank
We'll
you
keep it
kindly.
in mind.
I wouldn't give us anything. I mean, we're the big group of heroes bravely running away.
I don't give a shit. Au revoir. And he drinks a potion, jumps off of the wharf, and before he hits the water, he's turned into an eel that just disappears under the surface.
I like
Well,
it.
that was unexpected.
Now, come on.
All aboard.
Estrella boards and then is looking for a dark corner to roll up into a ball.
Yeah, she's just pretty beaten up at this point.
Yep.
I have my crossbow out, just keep an eye on anything.
Yeah, there's a lot of boats going both up and down the river. Which way do you guys plan on heading?
Into the swamps.
That'd be up. Oh, I'm just going to pull up a map, actually, so you guys can make your own decision on this. Further into the swamp would be up, yes. But down would also take you into the swamp. So would both sides.
We were following a spell earlier, so whoever was doing that.
That was a spell to get us to La Linda.
Okay.
Well,
Now we have no bearing on where we want to go.
Well, we wanted to go to La Rochette anyway, so that would be north.
Yeah, but we need to find these dragons first. We can't leave the swamp without them.
Can we remember that roar that came closer? From which direction that was?
You were in the middle of combat while that happened, so I'm going to say that's going to be a DC 15 perception to try to remember where it came from. Which direction it was. Yep, it came from the north.
North it
North
is.
is.
Not it may be, but you sit you down and let's see about strapping you up. And the Magna starts treating her.
Right.
Meanwhile, I'm going to find our stash of the finest cheese and feed my mice friends for a job well done.
Yeah, all 5 of them came skittering out of the dust pile after the dragon was disintegrated, and Vidkun seems to be, he's lined them up ready for inspection for you, and is standing in front of them like some sort of weremouse commander.
Good job. And I'll pinch off a little piece of cheese and hand it to each one. More where this came from.
You have never seen mice so proud and excited and fierce looking as these. Still mice, but...
Could you throw that spell again, Edamir? See if you can lead us to the Black Dragon?
I would need to know the exact location of the Black Dragon.
Right.
And I fear I am out of spell slots for that.
Well, we'll just have to try to remember the call of the dragon, and then, well, chances are they'll find us anyway.
Or actually, no, I'm not. I could try to get us to La Rochette.
Not yet.
Yeah. You have about a 15-minute trip before you even see or hear it. You can feel the draconic dread rolling in, and a huge dragon, still a bit a ways up in the air, is flying towards Lalinde, dropping streams of acid onto random boats heading up and down river. luckily ignoring yours.
Looks like he found us anyway.
If you were to guess, he's at least twice the size of the dragon you just fought.
What color of is his claws?
Yeah, this one, it's just got shiny gold claws.
Well then.
Can I tell if it's the dragon I'm looking for?
At this range, you can't be 100% positive, but you're fairly certain that if there's a bigger dragon than black dragon than this one in the swamp, you would have heard of it. That one is it's not quite the size of the green dragon that's been bullying you, but it's not much smaller.
Noted.
About half the size of that green dragon that's been fucking with you. So actually quite a bit smaller, now that I think about it.
Well,
So I want to go to Yodi, and I'm going to transform into my bigger form and put the giant claw next to him and see if he absorbs it.
The giant dragon claw?
Yeah, that I got from the other dragon, since he didn't absorb that one.
Nope, doesn't seem to do anything. But the book
Yodi,
the book is floating like 2 inches out from his body on its carrying strap. Now that you go over and have a proper look at what's going on, and slightly glowing.
what is that, Yodi?
That is a book.
How did you pull the preacher thing and suck in the soul of the dragon?
Yodi would like to tell you how, but he does not know.
And I moved the claw around, and I assume the book follows it.
Sort of. But it seems to want to stick closer. If you get too far away from Yodi, it just smacks back to him. And Yodi, as the book smacks towards his side, hears a voice in his head go, "Yes, more souls. Soon I'll have revenge on Father."
Try to remember that we need a claw from that dragon. You can hear Strella call a little weakly.
Yodi needs a dragon's head, not a dragon claw.
Well, I need a claw.
You are not being threatened to be made into a book.
No, but it was part of a deal with the Fae.
so how do we get that thing down to fight it, and preferably not tonight?
I'm sure he'll find us eventually. Probably tonight.
We should find somewhere to rest if it's close by. I'm gonna mark it because I can hunters mark things. I've forgotten that, but I can.
Can I do a nature check to see what I know about like swamps and possibly being able to spend the night covered up in the swamp somewhere?
Right. First things first. What the hunter's mark? Yes. What's that thing do?
It makes me able to track it.
Right. Okay.
I haven't been using that for a while, but I haven't forgotten.
Okay. So you can track it even if you can't see it. Is that correct?
Yes.
Gotcha. Well, it seems to be in the town, or in La Linde currently.
It's back in the city.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're not in good shape to fight at the moment.
We should find somewhere to hide the boat and get rest, and then we'll see if we can find it again tomorrow.
I'm all in for that.
Yeah, you definitely need rest. Let's see what this champion had while we look for a place to sleep. And Amir, can you see if you find somewhere nice for us to spend the night?
Possibly. Shall I roll the nature?
Oh, yeah.
Noted. There it is.
You find yourself a fantastically thick mangrove where you can actually hide the entire pram under it without having to pull it up onto the ground, and you should be more or less invisible from the air and very difficult to spot from anywhere except underwater.
Brilliant. Let's set up watch. Estrella, you should probably be excused tonight.
Well, I mean, I may be able to take the last one.
No, you rest.
You too, Master Yodi.
I'll take a turn.
Me too.
Right, if anybody else needs wounds treated, please just step forward now.
I could use some healing. I'm not that wounded, so I can wait, but
I could use some stitches.
Okay. Well, I think Estrella could use a couple more treatment stuff. I do Estrella and you, Zara, and then there'll be another 10 minutes, and then Estrella and Marisol.
I need about an hour of exercise, and then I'm good.
Fair enough.
all right. I can take the first watch.
Right, who was looking at Camilla?
I was going to look at Camilla.
Okay. Yeah, as you take the helmet off, the helmet's ceramic on the inside. Actually, looks like the entire helmet is ceramic. There's no steel involved. Same goes for the rest of the armor.
This must be magical. Master Yodi?
I can take a look at this, yes.
And looking at her, even though, well, her head was kind of pulped by a Sauron, but her eyes have that that vertical slit you find with snakes and dragons. She's got no real nose, just kind of two slits in the face, and a lot of black scale. Fine black scale. Very powerfully built. You can also see that from her, the look of her mouth, she probably could both breed the same poisonous acid as the dragons and have a pretty nasty bite. Those eyes, though, seem particularly well developed compared to, well, any sort of eyes you've seen. But then again, you don't know too much about dragons, Marisol, so you need to get somebody to have a proper look at it.
Yodi was on his way over.
All right.
Cool. I'm pretty sure it's a body.
Yep. She dead. Black scales, half black dragon. Ain't nothing special about her.
Yodi is sure she is dead.
Thank you, Master Yodi. Your armor, then.
Right. That is an exceedingly rare type of armor. Yodi's heard it. I mean, he's a crafter. He might not be a knight or a soldier or something, but he's a crafter. He knows about these things. Ceramic armor. Completely acid resistant. Of course, magical, or it would be utterly useless. Nobody actually has a good idea of where these are made. They show up in markets every now and then and fetch a pretty high price. But whoever's crafting them has kept themselves very anonymous. This thing is obviously enchanted. It's got a +2 armor rune on it and an anti-magic rune. It is a medium armor, equivalent to... well, actually, I think ceramic plate is its own thing in here. But it is a type of medium armor. It is pretty noisy, though. The ceramic clatters a lot compared to a lot of other armors.
I'm going to tap on the armor and then go and tap on Preacher.
Yodi would not recommend sneaking up to the dragon in this armor, but you would like to be wearing it if he was to sneeze on you.
Well, it's a very good armor.
Do you think it could be made out of Preacher's kind? That's pretty gnarly.
Not likely.
I do not know who made this or how they made it. I can tell you nothing of that. Also, too big for me, and I do not need it.
You gonna look at the sword while you're at it?
Yeah, sure. You want an Arcana roll for that too?
Nah, we'll just do it on the same one. It saves time. That is an elven curve blade. Fairly common weapon in lands with a lot of elves. Not particularly common in Golden Glens, as well. Most of the knights use longswords or greatswords. It rewards the agile wielder more than the strong. But it is very powerfully enchanted. It's got a +2 rune. It's got a greater striking rune, and it's got a greater corrosive rune on it. In addition to the fact that it seems to be made of cold iron.
Yodi holds it out at arm's length with 2 fingers like it's a dirty sock. This is an elf sword. I do not want this either.
What can it do?
Insert what Shoggoth said here.
It's good for rogues.
I can't use it.
I can try. I have a lot of weapons already. Maybe we can just take the runes from it.
You cannot remove the cold iron that it is made out of, though. Very handy against many creatures.
That is true.
Israel would have absolutely no idea how to use this weapon effectively.
Afraid. I was afraid of that.
Takes way more dedication to mastering weapons than most rogues have.
Now, this doesn't feel right for me. But I mean, maybe we can add that corrosive to one of my other weapons. Maybe the Piranha Kiss could be upgraded.
Yodi does not have enough time for this. Perhaps when we get our next weekend of rest.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna look at
I
the
would
sword.
also, if you can melt down that cold iron and make me
Sorry,
a collar
Andrew?
with it.
What were you saying, Mador?
I'm gonna look at the sword.
Yeah. It's a finely made weapon. It would be absolutely crazy to make something that's supposed to be light and agile, like an elven curve blade of cold iron, if it wasn't magical. But with the magic, it is perfectly balanced. A very finely crafted weapon, all in all, and definitely something you're quite familiar with.
If no one complains, I will sheath the sword.
Feel free. You
Very
are our
well.
best fighter.
You're welcome to it, Mardor.
Go
Mhm.
ahead. It's always better to keep it intact than to try to take something out.
You also see that it is actually inscribed with a name that I'll put in chat because I have no idea how to pronounce that. Must be French. It is French. Right. So you guys are are resting up. Who is on the?
I
Who's
have the
on
mid watch.
Right.
I had the first.
I have one of the watches.
Then Medora will wake you up for the third, I think, and then Magnus.
Preacher will be on after the second one. That's when he's done and have rested.
Yeah. So it's Medor and Preacher awake when well, it's pitch black. Of course, it doesn't bother any of you because you can see very well in the dark. But you notice Yodi's body floating maybe half a foot off of the pram.
Preacher?
That is not normal.
No, that is not.
I move over and make sure that he's not gonna float away, but I'm not gonna intervene at this particular time.
I definitely will be keeping an eye on that, and I'm just hoping it's not like a beacon for the dragon that may be searching us.
Yeah, you hear a faintly female-sounding voice. Yes, I will have my revenge. It shall be so. I shall feast on his liver. And then silence again. And Iodi floats back down onto the deck of the pram.
Huh. We'll
Whose
talk
liver
to
is
in the morning.
she gonna feed on?
God knows.
Hear that, preacher?
Oof. Yeah.
What in the?
How's about this? I keep an eye on him, and you keep an eye on everything else. Okay?
That sounds like an excellent idea.
Right. And on that note, as Fancy Ground seems to having started freezing for me for some reason, I believe it's about time that we call it a day for this session. It'll be up on the YouTubes sometime during the week, depending on when I find the time to set it up. Thank you all for coming. You all stay safe, stay healthy, and be well. We will let our streamer Tulmar find somebody to raid, and we will see you all next Sunday. So stay safe, stay healthy, take care. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.